What's happening, everyone? Welcome back. I appreciate you guys checking in and tuning in with us. It's always a good time, and I appreciate every one of you out there, especially at this time of year, away from your family, sacrificing, making things happen for the holidays. Truck drivers, we appreciate you. Just know that. So, as always, your host, Cameron Pesci, founder of Valley Trucking Insurance and Get a Load of This Trucking podcast. I'm excited. This year, we decided to pull the trigger on a new partnership. And in fact, I saw a huge void in the marketplace, and I found that this company was being a disruptor, providing a service, bringing value incredibly easy and incredibly fast. So I'm excited to partner with the company. This company is Loadsure. And with us today, I've got special guest Jim Heide. Jim is the COO and the co-founder of Loadsure. Jim, what's happening?
Hey, Cam. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man, I'm excited to have you. I'm excited to get to know you a little bit, have the listeners get to know you, and then hopefully have a good new year, man. We'll see how the freight market is going. So how's it look on your side? Because you guys deal in a couple different avenues, which actually I'll just have you kind of explain what Loadsure is, what you guys do, and the service you guys provide in the marketplace, if you want to just touch on that.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Loadsure was started at the end of 2018 by my partner Johnny McCord. Johnny is an insurance broker for almost 20 years. Comes from an insurance family. He and I met early 2019. My background's actually freight, so I worked for DHL Supply Chain for 20 years. Then another freight tech startup called 10-4 Systems for about 4.5 years before it was acquired by Trimble in 2017. Stuck around for a little while longer until I met Johnny, and then we've been building this ever since together. So it's been fun, especially trying to start a company from scratch, doing it during the pandemic, and still managing to grow even in this quote unquote trucking recession, depending on who you ask. We continue to grow, so it's kind of hard to judge based on our performance, how the industry's doing. But we hear a lot from our customers that. And you could see freight rates dropping, and that's definitely cause and effect to what's going on out there. Capacity's loose, but I think from all indications we're at the end of it, and we're coming out of it, and it's definitely seeing some positive signs there. Some volumes picking up with our customers and all of that. So it's definitely positive news coming out of this.
Yeah, and I think your background lends to understanding how cyclical trucking is anyway.
Oh, yeah.
Like you've been involved in it for quite a while now, obviously. So I think the companies that are equipped and prepared and forward thinking and planning and willing to be adaptive thrive in this environment. And it is a recession, but I think that equates to opportunity if done right. And then coming out the other end, those companies that were able to survive are going to be rewarded. I really do.
Oh yeah, 100% correct. Absolutely. You have to be adaptive. You have to always kind of look for opportunities and be innovative, right?
Which is where Loadsure came from, no doubt. Because I think it's funny, and I think it's a long-term problem, like systemic problem, that 100,000 has been the cargo limit on COI request for how long? Probably since you joined trucking.
Oh yeah. Yes. Yes,
That's kind of comical to me, because it's like, okay, go back, and I should look the stat up. I don't even know how you could find it, but it's like probably since like the 80s, it's been 100K. And you're telling me that the load values have not gone up since then? Like
you and I both know that's not true, right?
Yeah. It's kind of wild to me but out of that, I think creates a huge void, which is where you guys step in. Because, and I'll hear this all the time from either my freight broker friends, customers, or whatever clientele, my asset-based friends or companies. And it's like, hey, we've got this opportunity, especially in this market where maybe they specialize, or maybe they got a new relationship, or they're getting tested, but they need $500,000.
Yep.
cargo coverage. Normally, not a big deal, right? Hey, call my insurance or do this. But what if it's on the weekend? What if you got to get your bid in by Monday? What if they're with an insurance company that just struggles and can't get you to that 500,000 because of the freight or the type of commodity it is? Now it's like, okay, that's still okay. But now the insurance person or their professional has to go find a policy that will cover it, fill out an application, submit it, wait for the turnaround time, which you and I both know this takes a while, which is obviously where you and your business partner said, how can we fix this
Yep.
to get it back? And by then, what happens? Well, 9 times out of 10, they lost the load. Like, let's
Oh
be
yeah.
honest.
Freight doesn't
So,
wait, right?
yeah,
And yeah, that's the nature of the business. When you've got that load, you need that coverage. That the broker or shipper, if you're a carrier, isn't going to wait around. They've got somebody else on the line that they're going to call if you don't have the coverage to haul the load for them.
no,
It's just the way it is. And you're right. Historically speaking, insurance agents, brokers, they haven't really had access to something instant. They would have to call their underwriters. They'd have to wait 24, 48 hours sometimes, depending on their connections and who was backing them, and turn around and try and get you an answer. To your point, over a weekend would be impossible.
yeah.
So now, thanks to technology and data and the accessibility that the internet brings, you can get that quote and get that coverage instantly.
Yeah, well, and it's funny because you can ask me how I know all these things. Obviously, I've dealt with them, so it's like, so when I've looked into you guys, and I saw you guys roll out in the publications and stuff a couple years ago, and I'm like, oh, it's brilliant! Like, what a good idea. I was curious to see the traction and like what's the actual need in the marketplace and that kind of stuff. But there
Yeah,
obviously was one. I knew that. I had dealt with it enough to know this is a problem.
yeah,
So finally now with, conversations between us and getting you guys onboarded, I'm really excited to get you guys out in our marketplace and to my clients and to my partnerships and provide this solution to them because I do think it's a need. I think too, I want to talk about the different products you guys offer because originally I'm like, oh, okay, so shippers on a load board such as DAT, which I know is a big partner advocate of your guys,
yep,
and they don't have enough coverage, they just go buy it, and this could be a motor carrier doing it. Well, what I didn't realize is you guys actually are applicable to more than just that. And so let's talk about those things. So what are the product offerings? Who is the main folks and focus that you guys are focused on and people you're trying to help?
yeah, yeah. Great, thank you. So we started back 5 years ago. Our initial product was $100,000 worth of coverage for $40, and it's an all risk product, so it's a little different than your typical MTC coverage. It covers the acts of God and loading and unloading and unattended vehicle, fictitious pickups, those sorts of things. So had value there, but the $100,000, it didn't cover a lot, and a lot of our customers were still convinced their $100,000 of MTC coverage was enough, and so we responded to the market, up that to 250, then to 500. Now we do up to $2 million within our portal. We cover domestic U.S. and Canada as well as international. Cover all modes: truckload, LTL, ocean, air. Cover it all. And when we rolled out that initial product, the idea was we're just going to have an API integrated into load boards, and that's our product. And we very quickly learned that people, they like their insurance brokers. That insurance broker, that insurance agent is that trusted intermediary. That's who knows the market and who's going to best take care of their customers. And so we backed off on just the pure integration, rolling out a transactional product, and began partnering with the insurance agents and brokers out there to really augment their service offerings and make sure that they had a product that they could use and extend to their customers to where they could get that coverage instantly, built a nice, elegant portal that they could access from anywhere, but also still have those options to integrate it into your TMS or order platform, marketplace, booking platform, whatever. So you can actually just add that insurance coverage and one click right within the same pane of glass that you use to manage all of your business.
I love it. How has the perspective for you been over this last couple of years? Because in the last or just couple episodes that we've just done, it's been kind of the COVID effect coming out of COVID. What does the market look like, the rebound, and kind of the future and beyond? But you've been around for 5 years, so you've been before, during, like the whole thing.
Yeah.
What's your perspective on that? And you're dealing with a good metric, I feel like, which is loads, because that's like show and tell for what's happening. So
Yep.
what's your point of view?
Yeah, definitely saw that slinky effect, right? Between all of the issues with like Long Beach getting ships unloaded during
Yep.
COVID, and then all of that freight hitting and that kind of boom that happened, and then now you had all this capacity, and the freight wasn't coming in from China, and so now you kind of had the drought, and I think things are starting to level off and pick up from every indication that we're seeing. So yeah, definitely that slinky effect before, during COVID, and then after, and they were weird times, and I don't know how many of your subscribers noticed this. Just the weirdest things would be short in the grocery store or in the store. Everybody knows about the eggs thing, but like pineapple juice, you couldn't find pineapple juice to save your life for like 3 or 4 weeks. And then the toilet paper everybody else knows, but just random things that you kind of very quickly realize that how fragile the supply chain is, and how hard everybody works to kind of keep those things in the grocery store and get
Oh,
us those things that
yeah.
we need. We all take that for granted, or had until this event kind of really showed us how much actually goes into getting that pineapple juice on the shelf, right? It's crazy.
Well, I think it did a couple good things. Obviously, it shined a spotlight on truckers, right, in the industry, and
Yep.
gave some thanks and praise that should be there the whole time, and it should always be there. It's not These trucks aren't a problem or an annoyance on the road for you. They're what are able. They're the reason you're on the road in the first place,
Yeah,
and it
unsung
goes more.
heroes. They are
Oh,
the
it's
unsung heroes.
insane. So, like, which obviously we're very passionate about truckers doing what we do, and as you are. The other thing, which is kind of comical to me, is I'm like, I think employers realize, like, do these people not use the restrooms at home? Like, did they just use them at work because like we just ran out of toilet paper at home? Like, what's going on? This is wild, man. Like, because then you work from home, and it's like, okay, I guess they just never use their home bathrooms. I
Yeah,
mean, I don't know.
it's a bit disturbing, yeah, if you think about it.
It's kind of wild to me, man. It was like, holy shit. But I think it created a ton of opportunity too. So then it's like you get this boom of entrepreneurs now that have the ability to become hot shots or truck drivers and employee or company guys that, like, you know what? I want to go out on my own because the spot market was so hot due to the inefficiencies of the freight chain, I should say. Um, Given this opportunity now where people can make a living, and then interest rates were low. So like you have this like kind of perfect storm to just build this economy, even though we were coming into a recession, and our time and our cycles and time frame would have, everything would have said, hey, we're going to come into a recession.
Mhm.
It just all happened to hit at the perfect time, right?
Yeah,
Now, as a result, though, those companies that weren't or were ill prepared or weren't prepared and just didn't understand the cycles of freight and trucking in general, man, it's really tough right now. It really is.
yeah, no doubt, no doubt. It's yeah, I like I said before, I think we're out of it. I
Yeah.
see things starting to tick up. Um, and yeah, the thing about recessions, and I'm not an economist, but a lot of them become these self-fulfilling prophecies, right? Where
Right.
yeah, everybody believes you end up in a recession, and they stop spending money, and that's actually
Yeah.
exacerbates the
Yeah.
reception, the recession, right? So we I think what's helped, I think a lot of people have still been positive. That this is hopefully more of a correction than a full blown deep
Yeah.
recession.
Yeah.
But the trucking has always been kind of on the
Yeah.
leading indicator of those things. So it's something that we've had to watch closely. But yeah, like I said, hopefully it's over.
Yeah, no, and I'm not putting you on the spot as an economist. We all can't be the Simpsons, right? Like the Simpsons predicts what happens, and we're not them. So, but I think though, resilience is key, right? And obviously, as a startup, we all know the stats of startup companies making it to 12 months, 24 months to 5 years, and then let alone be any level of successful is resilience and tenacity and all this stuff.
Yep.
What were some of the adversities you faced kind of doing a startup in this time? And what were unseen obstacles or opportunities for you guys to learn and pivot, right? Or like walk us through some of those early things.
Yeah. The COVID, the pandemic, definitely threw a monkey wrench in things for us. During 2019, Johnny and I, we hit every trade show and conference we could get to meet as many people as we could, get the word out, and start getting those relationships built, and to then be essentially locked in your house, right? With
Yep.
Zoom is the only way you could communicate to people. Definitely changed things drastically. Luckily, we were already, when we weren't at shows together, we were used to working remotely, so it didn't slow us down too much. Where it really impacted us was making those relationships in the industry that we didn't already have. We really had to focus on the relationships we already had, and try and grow those as much as possible. We had to watch the market and react, and that's why we expanded our product suite. We expanded our transactional product, which is what I talked about in the beginning of the show here, and then have also expanded into other products. So we do some more traditional annual cargo. We do stock throughput, and we have recently launched our motor truck cargo product. That is, we're one of the few providers out there that actually offer that to freight brokers as well. So you can, if you're a freight broker, you can have a motor truck cargo product from us as well. So that expansion, leveraging our existing relationships, really got us through. And yeah, lately in the industry, watching the whole thing with Convoy develop, that was shocking. A $3.8 billion company that had 1,500 employees at its peak go to essentially an asset sale, and make pennies on the dollar, was definitely concerning. Luckily, I think a lot of tech startups were more growth at all costs, right? I think we were always a little more reserved in that. And while growth was a very important metric for us, profitability was also important. And so I don't. I'm not concerned about going the way of Convoy or some of the others that have had some troubles lately, thankfully. But yeah, it's something that we have to watch as a business. Continue to watch the market and respond to our customers.
Yeah, that's smart. I think too, you probably get a good counterbalance with Johnny being insurance, potentially being a little bit more reserved or conservative in some of that aspect would be my. I'd venture to guess. I don't know, but what a great case study for you.
Yeah.
With Convoy, right? So like, because it would be easy to get locked in, as you said, on the revenue and the growth at all cost, and like in that market, and maybe that was the play. Who knows? I don't know. I don't know what their plan was. I don't know why they chose to go the route they did. I think that they could have put the systems and the process procedures in place, created the checks and balances to like have a sustained machine long term. But once again, nobody knows because all we see is the articles and everything that come up for sale and the news stories and speculation.
Yeah,
So, but for
exactly.
you though, it's a good case study to be like, okay, what did they do good? But what could we do better for us, in our model, right? To then excel. I think that, and you saw that unfold in a relatively short period of time.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's definitely some lessons learned there, right?
Yeah.
I think everybody pretty much believes, and whether or not this is true or not, I'll leave to the industry experts and historians. But they were everybody believes they were buying freight, and when you have that much capital, you probably can do that.
Hmm.
And I don't think that's good for anyone. So I think these things end up fixing themselves after a while, and hopefully the lessons learned out of that really are, um, the market. The market is the market, right? You can't really influence that too much without consequences.
No.
And people are important. You can't replace those people.
Yeah.
I think startups and technologies that help enhance what people are doing, make them more efficient, more productive, is really the way to go rather than replacing them. And we see this trend with AI right now, right?
Oh yeah.
And everybody's worried, oh, AI is going to take my job. Yeah, I'm not worried about that for quite a while. I don't think the robots are going to take over tomorrow. I think AI is going to make us more efficient and productive, and that's what we're going to see a lot of in the industry here in the next 5 to 10 years.
Yeah, I think that brings up a good point, which could be a whole conversation in and of itself, is technology and AI. It's a tool, right?
It is.
It's something you should learn. It's something you should be familiar with, educate yourself on. Can it enhance your day to day? Absolutely. Can it make somebody more productive? Yes. Can it replace somebody? Maybe in certain aspects, but like a personalized touch and like you got to have that human interaction, especially in the terms of relationships. If I replace you with just 100% technology, our relationship I should say, you're going to be like, yeah, I don't ever talk to Cam. Like I have no relationship with Cam anymore. Like it's an AI response, I call in, it's a chat bot, you know what I mean, like that. Like that's kind of what the world's coming to. And I think for um there are a lot of areas for improvement within the freight transaction that technology could smooth,
Hmm.
that could create transparency, that could help efficiency's sake, because time is money. It's kind of cliche, that old like, but it truly is. So like the less time you could spend on something that could be automated, great, do it. But it
Yeah,
can't automate out the full process, right? Because then you just take away that customer experience, that interaction, the relationship, kind of some of those important pieces that you just said got you through this challenging time. Because without those, I think a lot of people do fail. They forget to remember to really focus on the people that are helping and supporting the supporting cast and the people that are getting them there. So,
yeah.
um, yeah, that's wild. Yeah, AI, Skynet's coming to take over, and like we're gonna lose jobs, and my industry is doomed. Everyone's industry is doomed, and driverless truck, all this kind of stuff is happening. Which I think on a small level, potentially, and at scale, maybe sometimes I don't know if it's in our life or kids' lives or who knows. So it'll be really curious to watch unfold. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah. It's not going to happen overnight, and technology evolves and
Hmm.
moves things along, and jobs that were once big 50 years ago that don't exist anymore, or are severely diminished. It's true. That's just progress. It happens. Yeah, the driverless truck thing. Um, I'm not I'm not thinking we're going to see these on the roads everywhere anytime soon, right? I had the opportunity to try one of those Waymo taxis in
Mm,
Phoenix a few months ago, and I was impressed by how well the thing performed. There was even an event where an ambulance was crossing and going through an intersection against a red light, and the car knew to stop and wait for the ambulance to go before it actually entered the intersection. So I lived to tell the tale. I did die, which
you
was
didn't hop in the ambulance on the way.
yeah, but there's it's a small little Jaguar crossover going around some city streets at a relatively slow speed. It's not an 80,000 pound rig going
Right.
75 miles an hour down I-70, right? Which is a much different scenario. That truck can do a lot of damage if something goes wrong, right?
Yep.
The liability is significantly higher. So, yeah, not real worried about our truck drivers being replaced by these things anytime
No.
soon. I think there'll be some novelty and some driver assist type things, similar to other AI where it's assisting the driver, right? Maybe we'll get to a point where the driver can take a little cat nap or something like that. I don't know. On these things, or it acts sort of in some sort of team capacity as things go. You hear a lot about platooning, and that could help take some of the strain of driving off of additional drivers where they're going in some sort of automated convoy down the road, right? I think those things would definitely be great for the industry, allow drivers to get to be more productive and have less strain and potentially be safer if the technology pans out. But yeah, full replacement, I think we're a long ways away from that. And we do similar things with AI as well. Loadsure does. So we use it for pricing, for dynamic rating.
Hmm.
We use AI to look at our claims history and various load attributes and how weather and traffic and road hazards and all of these things that are going on in the industry impact risks of various commodities and various lanes. And so I don't have to have underwriters sitting there looking at every
Yep.
risk. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to turn around a policy in under a minute. It would take that 24, 48, 72 hours,
Hmm.
right? So we need some AI there. And then we're also looking to go beyond that using AI, beyond just insurance, right, into
Hmm.
more holistic freight protection, which is how we put ourselves out there. Insurance is just one attribute of risk management. It's risk transfer, right?
Yeah.
But the ability to understand what a particular risk is around a load or shipment or storage or whatever, and be able to advise on how to manage that risk digitally, be able to help mitigate that by product handling or proper equipment or how to secure it, maybe getting the right carrier for the right job, right? So you don't have somebody who's never touched over-dimensional hauling some big heavy machinery when all they're used to dry vans or there's various things that you can do and get ahead and help with routing and hazards and weather and all of these other various things. We believe that a comprehensive risk management program shouldn't be reserved for the S&P 500 companies and those that can afford it. We want to democratize that and bring that down and make that available to everyone. And really the only way you can do that in a cost-effective manner is through AI.
Oh, the computing power of AI and the analytics, the actuary ability and summarization capabilities of these tools are they're mind blowing. It's amazing.
Yep.
And that's no doubt why I don't know what I think when I was chatting with you guys not that long ago, your average payout for claim was less than like 6 days or 7 days or something. And I think most of the time it's quite a bit less than, but for
Yeah.
official, it's like, hey, we got to be less than 7 days or whatever, 6 days. But you couldn't do that without having that quick responsive summarization capabilities via whatever AI technologies with chat GPT and all these things coming out. It's a tool. Going back to, it's a tool that you should educate yourself on, learn, implement it in your day-to-day, because then you'll be that much further along. Trucking companies can do this, freight brokerages can do this, anybody can do this. My kid can do this for school. Not that I'm going to have her promote her to go use this for schooling, but shoot, if I had this tool, man, I probably would have graduated with a 4.0. You know what I mean? It'd be wild. But
My kid's school just rolled out some software that they're looking at their papers to try and detect if they used AI to actually.
And
So
then
it's
there's
like
I mean, then there's another software that analyzes it and says, hey, we got to do this. And then you plug it into another software that makes it I mean, like, when does that end, right? It's like,
it's like,
how much time do you spend? I mean, I don't, yeah, anyways, that's really funny though.
yeah, like some sort
What's,
of AI paper arms race.
we just robots, like our kids don't even go to school anymore. They just show up. Via like a robot. Yeah, exactly. Hey, what's exciting on the horizon for you guys? So we're coming into a new year, right?
Yeah.
2024. I'm guessing you guys in leadership probably spent some time reflecting on what the year was and then looking forward, because obviously I know you guys are based on what you're talking about. What's on the horizon? What are you excited to venture into or roll out or coming down the pipe?
Yeah, you brought up claims recently, and we're continuing to make huge investments in our claims platform. So right now, to your point, I think our average is probably closer to 3 days, if not
Oh,
less
that's
than
awesome.
that. I haven't looked at the numbers recently, but we have most claims we're settling within 24 hours, and then we have some claims that we've even settled within 10 seconds. I think
Wow.
7 seconds is our record, and that includes payment, digital e-check payment, everything, right?
Bitcoin.
Not Bitcoin yet,
I'll
but
take Bitcoin
we,
for
we
my.
may get there. We may get there. But yeah, it's all thanks to data and
Yeah,
technology and
cool.
AI. So we're continuing to invest in that platform to continue to bring that down. The cargo claims can be complicated, right?
Yeah,
There's some complex claims out there, to be able to not only settle most claims in an automated fashion, but also use that same advantage technology to where if I do have to get a claim settlement person involved, that they have most of the information that they need, and then they can, if they need to get a survey or get some additional information from the claimant, they do that and settle the claim still much more efficiently than what traditional insurance has done, right? So that's a huge part of our investment, and then continuing towards that goal of holistic freight protection. That's what drives us, right? So it is you understanding what road hazards, how to handle the product, what weather and those sorts of things are you're going to encounter on the route. If you're a freight broker, we're gonna help you mitigate things through our technology and through partnerships. Things like fictitious pickups, which is big talk in the industry right now. All this double brokering and fictitious pickups that are going on right now. Where the insurance is there, right, to cover you just in case, and that's one of the big things that we do cover. But getting ahead of it and stopping it from the first place is in everybody's best interest, right? And so we're moving a lot towards helping our customers mitigate those types of risks from occurring in the first place. And then on the back end, using data and everything else that we've helped to allow our customers to improve their SOPs and product handling procedures and security. All these things are coming down the pike, and a lot of our focus in 2024.
yeah, I love it. I'm excited to watch and see how that unfolds for the year ahead and then the years beyond. I'm very excited to partner with you guys too. So I have no doubt this is a huge value to my customers and clients. So that's why I was so excited to get you guys on, and in conjunction with us rolling out, that partnership.
Yeah.
And I look forward to that. Where can folks maybe follow along or find more about you guys or connect with you guys? And obviously for people that want to explore partnerships or insurance or embedding into the freight brokerages, that's why I picked these guys up. I'm happy to help you guys get set up with that. But just in general, to follow you guys, where should folks find you?
Yeah, so we're our website is loadsure.net, LOADSURE.net. You can find me on LinkedIn, Jim Heide, Heide, or reach out to your insurance broker. If you don't have an insurance broker or want a good one, reach out to
Yeah.
Cam.
Perfect, man. I appreciate that. And thank you so much for your time. I know you're a busy man, but I do appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, same here, Cam. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Thanks, everybody. Stay safe.